I'll write it and we'll do it live.
In a world permeated with barbecue websites under the control of tyrannical administrators, there was one man, a one-man army. He broke all the rules. He allowed his members to speak out, give their opinions, and make the website what it is today. Get ready for Greg Rempe and the Barbecue Central Show.
Live from Cleveland, Ohio, it's the Barbecue Central Show.
Hey, good evening, and welcome to the Really Big Barbecue Central Show. Oh, that's right. We are days away from the big Christmas holiday, so you know we're bumping in tonight, as YouTube is probably deucing in their proverbial pants as I am using copywritten music. So if you're watching on YouTube right now, might be getting ripped off as we speak because Run DMC is laying down Christmas in Hollis. And if that isn't enough, I'm about to make YouTube go completely bonkers when I switch out of Run DMC and then go to also my traditional Christmas time run, which you will see here in just a second. But everybody loves Run DMC, of course. It's the best Christmas rap song ever made. I don't know if there's been other Christmas rap songs that have been made, but this is the best Christmas rap song that has been made, bar none, and I will not hear any arguments, and I am warning you with peace and love.
I'm warning you with peace and love.
There are no better rap songs when it comes to Christmas than Christmas in Hollis. Now, I promised you something additional because it is the holiday season, so here we go, of course. Here we are. Now, it's a little different than in years past because I had the green screen before I moved the show to New York City, where I do it live every Tuesday night. But I'm now sharing with you the WPIX Yule log. Our Christmas gift to you, the listener, who might be listening on WPIX radio or simulcasting on WPIX Channel 11 in upstate New York, where I grew up. This would run on Christmas Eve for 2 hours, and this is fun and frivolity at its finest as you're wrapping gifts feverishly, trying to get the kids off to bed and the like. Little warm fire for you this evening. Thought we'd give it to you. Anyway, happy to have you aboard here on your Tuesday night fun and frivolity show. If you want to jump in this evening, you can do it with a phone call, 216-220-0966. You can also do it through email, Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. Everything else you want to find out about the show can be found at the main website, thebbqcentralshow.com, where you can also sign up for the newsletter if you're so inclined, right there towards the top. Just need an email. And that's it. You're signed up, and you'll get heads-up notice every Tuesday around noon, although I was late today. I beg your forgiveness. Here's what's happening coming up in about 11 minutes from now. The pitmaster of Big Poppa Smokers, the owner of the business Big Poppa Smokers, the CEO of Ernie Ball Music, and longtime sponsor of this show, Sterling Ball, rejoins to help us close out the year. Looking forward to catching up with Sterling. Also, at 35 past the hour, because it is the fourth Tuesday of the month, we will be joined by the creator of DerrickRiches.com. Derrick Riches joins us, and we'll talk about 2020 closing and the trends that happened during the course of these past 12 months. We'll also do a little prognostication as we look into the goings-on of a 2021. So we'll see what happens there. If you weren't getting my audio, I just found something that was a little weird. But hopefully I've corrected that for you. Maybe you didn't notice it all. That's fine. So Derrick and I will be whooping it up 35 past the first hour, and that'll take us to the top of the second, where we will promo the best of. Also, in the second hour, and for the balance of the second hour, you will find the Embedded Correspondence, and we have a special Embedded Correspondence segment this evening where we, that being John and Doug and Rusty and myself. Hey, you want to go for a sleigh ride, everybody? Yeah! Come on, everybody! Let's go to McGregor Hill and sleigh down. We're going to be doing a best moments contest of 2020. What does that mean? That means we have been diligently pulling what we feel were some of the best audio clips and moments of the show. We've staged those up. I will be firing those off. We'll be talking about them all the while rating and reliving and arguing. And hopefully by the end of the second hour, we will have come up with a best moment that gives signature to the year 2020. Excuse me as I'm choking. So that's what you have to look forward. Perhaps it will help you recall what a magical show year it was in 2020. It's going to be great. And then to promo next week's show, we're going to be doing a chronological recap of the show from January to the end of the year. Same guys, Embedded Correspondents, or as many will show up. You're obviously included to take part as well. Just talk about the moments of the show as they transpired from month to month. It'll be great. So there you go. Sterling Ball, Derrick Rich's first hour, Embedded Correspondence segment, second hour, and your phone calls and emails sprinkled in as you see fit and as I see fit. 216-220-0966. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. Don't forget, you can follow me socially at BBQ Central Show on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Snapchat. Facebook and Twitch can be found /BBQ Central Show, and on the tubes /RD Rempe. Listener feedback and emails as we rummage through the listener feedback bag. Carson in North Dakota writes, Greg, I'm catching up on some podcasts and wanted to say how much I enjoyed the Bad Jew interview. Rebecca King was a great guest. Sounds really fun. Didn't know anything about her until I heard her on your show. By the way, I started following her on social to watch her progress. Well, there you go, Carson. You're welcome. As you would notice, I have some Bad Jew gear on. I have the long sleeve tee. And just to show you, I'll show you the back quickly. For podcasters, you'll have to go back and look at the video. I'm no model, of course, but you have the big Bad Jew logo, of course, which looks a little something like that. So I haven't figured out where I'm going to put that sticker. If I had a real toolbox, I'd put it on my toolbox, but we all know I'm not very handy. Now, to the extent that Carson brings up Rebecca King, the Bad Jew, I want to go ahead on record and make a plea to each and every one of you that if you have a Instagram or Twitter, but I would say Instagram more because she's heavy on Instagram, taking shots of her sandwiches and so forth. She's making a plea, as you heard on the show, for pork strami, so much so that she wants to trademark the name. However, it appears that, and I use this term loosely, restaurant juggernaut Tony Roma's already has pork strami trademarked. So, let's help a fellow barbecue sister out and see if we can't leverage Tony Roma's to actually gift her the trademark.
What?
That's right, not sell, but gift her the trademark as we are in the midst of the giving season. We just finished Hanukkah last Thursday. Rebecca was celebrating that glorious 8-day holiday for the Jewish folks that celebrate that. She does. I saw it on her Instagram. But here we are days away from Christmas, and what could be a better late Hanukkah gift and early and or on-time Christmas gift than Tony Roma's saying, you know what? we're not doing anything with the trademark on pork pastrami. We're barely existing. We're a laughing stock of culinary delight. And we can do something positive in 2020 by giving Rebecca King, the bad Jew, the trademark on pork pastrami. So I implore you, get on your Instagrams and start following Tony Roma's. They're at Tony Roma's, as it sounds and spells. And then direct message them and make your own posts in your Instagram story saying, hey, Tony Roma's, how about gifting your trademark for pork pastrami to our fellow barbecue sister, Rebecca King? She is indeed the preeminent authority on pork pastrami. I don't know anybody that was doing pork pastrami before Rebecca was. So why not give her the gift of trademark for free pork pastrami style? Let's do that. Can we do that together? I've done it a number of times. I'd like everybody else to get after it. It's my request for gift. Besides, fellow Clevelander, maybe some of you were like, you're pretty hyped up on the bad Jew. I just like the name and fellow Clevelander, so you know I got to get behind it. I'm a champion of Clevelanders. Pork pastrami. Nobody's saying that except her. Give her the trademark already. Let's do this. Too bad we ran out of time so I could warn you about tiger meat sandwiches.
What?
But maybe next week. Wisconsin, you're safe for another week. Sterling Ball is coming up out of the break. I'll talk to you quickly about the BBQ Guru. I was just following Bob the other day, and he is making heaps and heaps of beef jerky. Like, tons of beef jerky. How is he doing that? He's doing it on all of the BBQ Guru gear, of course. Yes, spices, the cookers, the automatic pit temperature control devices. They're the creators of all of this stuff. So why wouldn't you give them first consideration when you're in the market for cabinet-style cooker or a ceramic-style cooker or, of course, automatic pit temperature control devices? The two new ones earlier in the year were the DynaQ and the NanoQ. So depending on what you are looking for from a technological standpoint, the DynaQ is the one that's taking over for that Pro Q, which is more like the cruise control for the pit. If you want the higher level tech, then NanoQ is something you're going to want to check out. But regardless, if you have questions, please call and ask them so you know exactly what to get right from Jump Street. 800-288-GURU. That's 800-288-GURU. You can also visit the website, bbqguru.com. And they will make sure you're outfitted with exactly what you need to get you up and running right out of the box. Plus, they have lovely accessories. The rib ring, for instance, if you have one of those ceramic cookers, you definitely want to get one of those. It'll increase your rib capacity by double. You can get 6 racks of ribs in that. St. Louis style, by the way. So if that's your bag, check them out. Again, 800-288-GURU. Or please visit their website at bbqguru.com. The BBQ Guru continues to be a breakthrough in barbecue technology. We're back with Sterling Ball right after this. Stick around. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the #1 most downloaded barbecue and grilling podcast anywhere. The Barbecue Central Show. Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Show studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
Hey, welcome back. This portion of the show being brought to you by Butcher's Barbecue, makers of award-winning injections, marinades, rubs, seasonings, barbecue sauces, and grilling oils. All of Butcher Barbecue products tested on the competition circuit, as well as backyards worldwide. Be the pitmaster of your neighborhood and visit butcherbbq.com to stock up now. Butcher Barbecue, always trust your butcher. All right, joining me now is the pitmaster of Big Poppa Smokers, the owner of the website Big Poppa Smokers, and all-around great guy. We race to the hotline, and welcome back Sterling Ball to the show. Hey, Sterling.
How are you, Greg?
I am absolutely fabulous, Sterling. Appreciate you making time. Do you believe, Sterling, that this coming February I will have been doing this show for 13 years live? Can you believe it?
Well, you know what? It's really been fun watching.
Well, I appreciate you saying.
Listening to.
Hopefully I've gotten better over the years.
Oh, so much better.
Hey, I wanted to start here this evening. I don't know how frequently you get to catch up on the show or if you're a regular listener, what have you. I don't want to assume that you are for fear that my ego might get kicked in the balls. However, a few months ago, I had Rod Gray on. He made it into the Guest Hall of Fame this year, class of 2021 of 5. And within our conversation of catching up, he, I don't know if I would say went out of his way, but he did certainly not shy away from talking about the Barbecue Hall of Fame and its originations, and specifically brought your name up. And this is something I've known about for years, and I've really never broached the subject with you because you weren't overly excited about having a light shown, and I didn't want to step on any toes, but he decided to bring it out. So I wanted to first of all say, finally, congratulations that this news is out. But what did you think about how this whole thing went down, and as you recall, this being introduced, or where did the brainchild come from for Barbecue Hall of Fame for you?
Well, first of all, Hog Eyes had the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And Rod had called me and said, we need a band for the American Royal. The second night I said, look, they're going to be one and done. You can't get the same people to come back. And I said, I'll come up with an idea. And he goes, well, when? I said, call me tomorrow. And I got the idea that the competition barbecue needed a Hall of Fame. And, if you look at where it could be at the Jack, it could be at the Royal, it could be at Memphis in May. And at the time, Kemper Arena looked like a permanent site. So right. I wrote a little business plan on having the American Royal being the Barbecue Hall of Fame. I came up with the Black Apron and the 3 categories. And I sort of knew I was in trouble because this is 2012, the first year, and we had fortunately won the Royal. We went to the Black Apron party, and when we went walking out to the stage with all the people who put it together, they told me I'd have to sit out front. So I realized that they probably didn't know, but I really appreciate Rod doing it. That was very nice, and it's interesting watching how it's morphed because, and I know that you've asked people if they know the origins of the Hall of Fame, but and you're kind of asking them a trick question, and they don't. But it's still a great thing. I don't know that Competition Barbecue is going to get any love for it until they cover other people, but I don't think they really knew what the mindset or thought or plan was behind it.
Was the concept then, if I'm hearing what you're saying properly, was it more of a competition Hall of Fame, and then somehow it just got turned into a general Barbecue Hall of Fame?
Well, it was a competition Hall of Fame, but there was a media category, and the idea there was to try and leverage a celebrity to talk about it. And Guy Fieri, I know you and I always talk about it. I really do like the fact that Guy Fieri's raised $21.5 million for independent restaurants this year. But Guy gave us a lot of media. Guy came back for free. And then an industry icon, the first one was Henry Ford, and we were able to get money from them too. So usually when the industry person got it, they wrote a check.
So how do you see it now? Is it something, when I was, I brought up the whole Guy Fieri thing with Rod. He was very adamant about saying that was still a move that is paying dividends to this day. I question that wholeheartedly. And my deal was this. I think there is a little bit of a misconception that I don't like Guy or that I am out for him, which is completely wrong. I love him. I watch all of the shows. I'm a super fan of him. But when it comes to the Hall of Fame, I just don't personally think that he should be in there. I could make an argument for 15 other people. Not as popular. Well, certainly, I understand the eyeballs and all of that stuff. But from a fabric of Hall of Fame, I just think that it pulls. But he maintained, he should be in there, and it's still paying dividends to this day. Do you think that's the case?
Okay, could you ask the question again?
Should he be in there?
No, you asked me how I felt about it first. The way it's gone, and I think the word that comes to mind is unobtainium. Look, we've argued this too many times. I think that, Guy Fieri filled a role, and I think it was still a good idea. Maybe even looking back on it, better than the second inductee in that category.
Well, do you know anything about that?
No.
Nothing?
No, I just know that it's an interesting thing, and we're obviously talking about Adam Perry Lang and being the chef for
Jeffrey
Epstein.
Yeah,
but I don't know anything about it. I didn't see anything.
Yes, well, that seems to be a common theme as I start to dig into all of that. Nobody sees anything, and we'll leave it there for now and move ahead. Let's talk about.
Well, let's always give the benefit of the doubt too until we find out.
Absolutely, that's why we're doing due diligence, and we're leaving it here for now, as I said. So, 2020 was a crazy year, of course. Just as somebody who likes to cook, you're a fan of cooking. If you are lucky enough to follow you on Instagram, you're cooking some of the best looking food out there. Not doing crazy filters and all that BS, but just good pictures of the food you are cooking. What did you see trend-wise this year that you thought really hit the mark or came out of nowhere that everybody loved?
Well, I think that 2020 was really the maturation of the influencer. And when I started 11 years ago making videos for barbecue and the deals I did with companies, it was more as an ambassador. And I think that's somebody who's more really very committed and maybe involved on a corporate level, visiting customers, visiting culinary development. So there's a difference between the two. I like anything that motivates people to cook or think about cooking. And I really like it when they want to buy rubs. But I think that the influencer really did, and I think that a lot of the influencers didn't come from competition barbecue anymore. And I think a lot of it is that a lot of the brands realize the power of Instagram, and they hire agencies, and agencies select people that meet their metrics, which are usually based on likes. And there's some really, really, really good ones out there. I mean, Derrick down in Nashville, I think, is really clever and really a good cook.
Would we think? Could you think?
People.
Go ahead.
Well, I also, though, there's people who have been doing it forever, like Diva, for example, and I think she's just killing it.
Yeah.
And I think Malcolm's so accessible, so good, and but every competition barbecue cook I know has cooked his pastrami. I mean, I love Malcolm Reed. I think he's done a great job for barbecue.
When you look into 2021, it's just around the corner. Are there any things from a trend standpoint that you see picking up and catching steam over the course of the first 6 months or year?
Well, I think it's more of the live fire. I think fascinates people. But on the other side, the exponential growth of Traeger, which Traeger's I consider myself a marketing guy in the music business that have done okay.
Yeah.
Traeger's done the best marketing I've ever seen in this sector. I think Traeger has grown so many cooks for our industry, and then Traeger's all of Traeger's ambassadors are good. But I tell people that can't afford a Mac, the best pellet grill in my mind, buy the Traeger, and if you're just starting, the $575, and that app is unbelievable, and you got instant success.
Do you think?
And like I said, they're influencers. Look at Matt Church; he kills it.
Yeah,
Meat Church. Sorry.
Do you think that if you are getting a pellet cooker right off the bat, are you missing out on some kind of a romance with learning how to build a real fire and maintaining that to some degree?
Okay, here's what I think about it. I think anybody who's cooking outside, whether it's on pellets or not, and Greg, my first cooker was a Traeger. Really? And it wasn't near as good as the ones they're producing now. And that got me fascinated. I don't think it's right for anybody, especially somebody who's been in it for a while, to say that whatever sequence people use in their journey to outdoor cooking is right or wrong. The only thing I would say is go crazy, cook everything on that. And if you're still interested, learn about fire, learn about involving your senses, think about feel more than temperature and all that. But, right, if you're happy and you're cooking good food and your friends and neighbors love it, I think that's awesome. But a certain percentage will decide that, hey, maybe a drum's next or maybe an offset. And so I think they do a great job of growing cooks. And even if the people stay within the Traeger brand, it's still cooking outside.
You'd mentioned,
and I'm not being political there. I'm not being political. I'm telling the truth. But I do believe it is also fun to learn the rules so you can break them. But if you don't, who cares? You're cooking outside.
So you have an interesting perspective here, especially from a business standpoint. You're somebody that is into canned cooking, obviously. You also retail pellet cookers on your website. It has been long talked about the continued rise of pellet cookers in the marketplace, especially for those in the backyard. Can cooking is also something that continues, or barrel cooking continues to rise in popularity. Do you see pellets continuing to lead that market? Will cans start to take over? Will it even out? How do you see it going into 2021?
Well, first of all, Weber Kettle probably needs a big shout out there, because I tell people when they start, I have a friend that got a pellet cooker. Go, what should I get next? I said, a Weber Kettle.
Yeah.
He said, are you crazy? I said, no, because if you can cook on a Weber Kettle, you can cook on anything, and they're fabulous. But I think Traeger, listen, they should be rewarded for what they're doing, and the people that are kind of snarky about pellets or Traeger or country of origin need to realize that, man, they're getting people interested that wouldn't normally. You guys like Joe Rogan, and so it's very good for our industry, I think.
All right, so let's switch gears here just for a second. Obviously, as I had mentioned in the open, you're one of the most prolific and successful competition cooks here in the last 10, 11 years or so. How does there was not a lot of cooking for you in 2020, correct?
And the sad part is I got off to just a crazy good start. I think I won 3 out of 5 or something, and then went on ice. It was. I thought, well, maybe I'll cook a lot this year. Who knows? And then COVID, which I got, kind of changed that.
How are you forecasting 2021? Is it wait and see still, or maybe like nothing until summer? What do you think?
Well, I don't think I'm going to have anything in California until the summer, and I'll probably cook a couple. But to be honest with you, Greg, anytime something lets go of you and you got to fill the time, sometimes you end up liking the time. And I've really enjoyed a lot of family time, a lot of beach time, and a lot of cooking. I've been cooking on the Twin Eagles gas grill. I've been cooking on the Mac. I've been cooking on my drum, some M grill stuff. And what's funny is people don't know I only have 200 followers on my Instagram, because I only actually legitimately have friends, but that's where most of my food gets posted. So I think that's kind of funny. And then Urim and Jesse in the office take the stuff they like and put on big Poppa Smokers.
When you look
but I have I have 3 paws in the coffin. I'm probably done.
Do you have a timetable?
It just depends, because, the thing is, everybody has a run. I cooked 230 contests. I really liked most of it. I wish there was a little less bitterness. I think that's hurt a lot. I said this years ago on your show that, hey, the first thing agencies do is go to social media and look at it, and we're always in fights over stupid things.
Yeah.
Influencers are nothing but positive, and competition barbecue is less relevant. And, I like anything that grows the avocation. I can't call it a sport. So I'm not being Teflon. I'm really not. Influencers are doing a better job of telling the story and motivating people to cook. Who knows how many people cook? Who knows whether it's just food porn? But the more posts you see, the better.
Sterling, if I can hearken you back here these next couple minutes and talk about 2 events that, as they were rolled out, they received their unfair share of criticism. One was King of the Smokers, and the other one is the guinea pig. Let's start with King of the Smokers first. As you look back over those 9 years of doing it or whatever it was, what was the evolution arc for you? Like, how did you remember it those first couple years, and then how do you remember it ending up?
The first of it was trying to get the attention of and the idea was that I never said it was the top 24 in KCBS. I said it was legends, it was up and comers, it was people who couldn't cook a lot of contests, and I picked teams in the first years. They hated my teams. Some of them I might have not done a good job at. I think towards the end got pretty good. I think a lot of people don't realize that there were some very high-profile pitmasters that were part of my cabinet, and I would never name or let that out, Darren or Blaine.
Right.
Or Rod before that. So, no, but I mean, it had to be chemistry amongst the cooks was so important because it was 10 by 10 tent with the 10 by 10 for your cooker, and everybody's jammed together. So, I mean, somebody could have been a great cook, but not necessarily won any popularity awards. They probably didn't get invited. The problem with me that took me by surprise is I was investing over $100,000 to do this, and I did it for 7 years. And maybe some of the ways I did it caused that, but I don't think so. Everybody is so quick to attack, and that it wasn't rewarding. And in the end, I ended it because I was getting less and less social media, which was my only currency that I could earn from it. And I'm not throwing stones, but some of the people might not have thought it was as important. Same thing happened with the guinea pig. And we lost, our main sponsor, and I wasn't willing at that point to put more money in it.
Yeah.
And plus, you can't talk about King of the Smokers without talking about Jesse Corbin, James Perez, and Jody Clark. The 3 J's, and then the rest of it really was all the Ernie Ball team that just busted their ass. It was branded trash cans. Everybody was branded the same. There was never a half full trash can. We fed them the best we possibly could. And if you look now, people are really nostalgic about it.
Yes.
But, I'm not sure you're ever going to find somebody that's going to put $700,000 into barbecue. On the other side, I did guinea pig as kind of an everyman's cost-controlled, level the playing field, never said anything other than that. And, sorry.
Guitar sales coming in.
No, it's my Thai food. No, but I never said anything. But there was a thread just recently about the guinea pig, and people, really good cooks, were still saying, the meat draw is too random, and we bust our ass on that meat draw. And you know what? If there wasn't COVID, I probably would have skipped it this year just based on that thread. I'd had enough of it. I didn't take another contest away. If you didn't want to cook it, and a lot of the people that had the opinion in that particular thread have never cooked it.
Right.
Some of them have cooked it, complained about their meat, and then won the category. So the little snarkiness in barbecue probably cost him the guinea pig. The King of the Smoker was a different deal.
Yeah,
that really needed, also in addition to the money I put in, it needed it needed a sponsor. I may do something next year with Tyson. Who knows? I mean, we've certainly talked about it.
All right. Well, maybe we're on the low, or as the kids say, low-key breaking some news here, so we'll have to stay tuned for that.
Absolutely.
That's right. Sterling is over at BigPoppaSmokers.com. He's the pitmaster of BigPoppaSmokers.com. He wins a lot. He's really good, and if you're lucky enough to follow him on Instagram, he is cooking great food and taking great pictures, and it's all him and delicious. Sterling, I can't thank you enough. Go ahead.
I know, but Greg,
yes.
Happy holidays, also want to point out that from time to time I'm a personal coach.
Yes, well, I was gonna. I didn't know if that was like something we're supposed to talk about or not.
It's funny. I mean, look at. I want to make sure that I give a shout out to one of the best products of last year, and that's Matt's Urban Slicer pizza products. The sauce is crazy.
Oh my God,
I
so
don't
good.
make them traditionally. I make them in a cast iron pan. And that's what you cooked the other night, right?
I took your advice the other night. Actually, we're turning it right around and doing it again Thursday. They were so good. For Christmas Eve, we're doing another round of steak, and we're doing 4 cast iron pies. I'm actually going out to buy another cast iron pan tomorrow, so I am ready to go so I can make double the amount at the same time. So it was great.
For all the people, I know you got to get rid of me. For all the cast iron people, it's so versatile. I do my turkey, I do whole chickens, I part them. It's really capable of more than a ribeye, rosemary, garlic, and butter, which is fine. But I probably saw that a lot this year.
Maybe too much. I think
something different.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's try something different.
I'll leave that to you.
Sterling, always appreciate the time. I most importantly appreciate the friendship and support of the show. Always great talking with you, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Did I maintain my Hall of Fame status tonight? Because last time I know I was a little edgy.
100%. You have now been you're a lifetime member. All right, thanks, Sterling. There you go, Sterling Ball.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, my friend. Thank you very much. There he is from Big Poppa Smokers, Sterling Ball. Right there. Yeah. He's a pretty good cook. Pretty good cook. Oh, I just closed down the phone lines. I have just reopened the phone lines. There we go. Derrick Riches is in the green room. He's ready to rock and roll. We'll get to him here in just a second. We'll talk too quickly about Green Mountain Grills. That's right. Quality cookers and choice of cookers. So, if you're somebody that is not all down with like me, I don't need Wi-Fi technology. I don't need internal meat probes. I have a Fireboard. So I can save a couple bucks. I can get what is called the choice line, and I'm ready to rock. The size is the same as a prime line. Same capacity, just little short on the features. But if you're okay with that, you can save some bucks. Now, if you feel like you need app connectivity, if you need Wi-Fi connectivity, if you need internal meat probes, if you want peek-in windows on the main cooking chamber and on the pellet hopper, all prime line features right there. More robust build. You got a little storage rack underneath. You got the tray up in the front. All great stuff. Couple more extra bucks, no problem. Now, either the Prime or the Choice will accommodate that pizza oven insert. So while I am going cast iron on on Christmas Eve for another round of pizzas, I can do pizza oven insert if I want to. We'll see how it goes. It's supposed to be tremendously bad weather coming up through Christmas Eve and into Christmas Day. Lots of snow promised here in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city, and lake effect, too, on Christmas Day. If you have any questions about Green Mountain Grills, you go to the website, greenmountaingrills.com, and then if you want to buy, you find where the nearest dealer is to you, and away you go. Go to the dealer, have a conversation, they'll tell you everything you need to know, they'll educate you, you buy the unit, you take it home, you're ready to rock and roll. Success right off the bat. And again, if you're there at the dealer, ask them if they have the pizza oven insert and just get it. Much like I tell people to get a vacuum food saver type thing when they get their first barbecue pit. If you get a Green Mountain Grill, you have to get the pizza oven insert. And by the way, if you have other pellet cookers, Meathead has said that it will fit a lot of other cookers as well. Do a little measuring, but it will fit a lot of other cookers as well. So go to greenmountaingrills.com and see what they have. We are back with Derrick Riches right after this. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Howard Stern, Jim Rome, Dan Patrick, and Greg Rempe. The Mountain Rushmore of talk show entertainment. Now, let's get back to the Barbecue Central Show.
And this portion being brought to you by CookinPellets.com, as we were just talking about a pellet cooker there, being Green Mountain Grills. If you want to fire that, go ahead and get Cookin Pellets, your number one source for quality wood pellets. For all your pellet-driven cookers, visit CookinPellets.com for more information or to purchase and see what other products they have. You can also visit Amazon.com and purchase there as well. You can also check out CB's podcast, the Cookin Pellets podcast. A little sporadic on episodes, but whatever. Hey, it's It's the fourth Tuesday of the month, and that means it's time to go to the hotline and welcome in the most respected barbecue journalist in the world, Derrick Riches. Hey, Derrick.
Hey, Greg. How you doing?
I am fabulous. Appreciate you making time as we are closing out 2020.
And you can hear me.
Yeah, I didn't want to, I was just hoping we just roll into it without saying, hey, we've managed a technical hurdle that we haven't been able to clear the last couple times. But you are, as they say in the trucking world, loud and proud and treetop tall. Did you know that? You a trucker?
No, I don't.
Do you monitor Channel 19 rolling down the highway?
No.
All right.
No.
Here we go. Trivia question for $5 crisp. What is the code chicken coop refer to?
No idea.
No idea. Oh, come on, Derrick. Of course. It's the weigh station. That's the chicken coop.
Hey, my dad had a CB back in the 70s,
Yes.
and that's the last time I heard any of that.
All right. Well, I'm in the trucking industry, so unfortunately I have to know that rigmarole just in case I ever get a hold of somebody. Nevertheless, we are here to close out 2020. You know, when you look back on this year, which has felt like 5 years at this point.
It seems like it.
Kind of. Like, I remember when it was March, and part of me is like, man, we got to December pretty quick. But then I'm like, God, it seems like it really did take 5 years to go 9 months. What's your general thought? We don't have to talk about the food stuff and trends and stuff yet, but just the general high-level thought of 2020 and how this might rank in your years of life.
It's probably in the bottom 5, I would have to say. It's been largely a blur. I mean, I've worked from home for 20 years. So, from that standpoint, it hasn't had a big effect, but, I did have a lot of travel planned this year that spent a lot of time rescheduling and then canceling and then doing all that. So I'm looking forward to things being a little bit more normal.
When you look at this year from a trends standpoint, what did you think broke out as a star, maybe something that came out of left field? And what do you think, perhaps, not more importantly, but from a different side of the coin, something that was maybe gaining steam as the year turned and then really caught fire through some portion of this year?
It's as far as like new products, it's been kind of a disappointing year, I think. There's been a lot of kind of bad drops in from some companies. Like
bad offerings or just not a lot of product offerings?
Well, not necessarily a lot of, there hasn't been a lot of offerings, but, some of those that have come out just didn't go terribly well,
like what?
Like Smoke Fire certainly was not a very good rollout.
That's funny that you mentioned that because Kevin Coleman was supposed to be the lead segment, and he has some COVID. I don't know if it was him specifically, but there's some kind of COVID going around his family, so he had to tend to some healthcare items, so he had to bow out, which is totally fine. But one of my lead questions was going to be, it sounds very callous, but as you had mentioned, Smoke Fire was literally on fire for those first 2 months of the year. It was hyped. It was finally released. And then, people were talking about it's catching on fire. This thing's a piece. It should be recalled. There's free ones being returned to Lowe's. They're just in the back by the dumpster. Go get them. Everything was flying everywhere. And then COVID hit, and you never heard about it. It's like the breaking news story, and then an incredible tragedy happens the next day, and whatever was big news the day before, whoof, it's like you never hear about it again. Is COVID the best thing that happened to Smoke Fire?
It might be.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, now there's issues that the fire pots are melting out. So
I haven't heard that.
Yeah, no, they've had problems with that. Apparently, a lot of people have having problems with fire pots melting out after several months of usage, and those parts are now being replaced. I've heard some hints that basically right now they're at a wash with the replacement parts and the units being returned. So that's not good. And, on top of that, they're kind of re-releasing the Summit Charcoal Grill.
Yes, is the Kamado.
As the Summit Kamado.
Yeah.
And they sent out a number of demo units and some people, to some select group and some in some test markets and some stuff like that. And the legs fell off. So,
but this is the Weber Charcoal Summit Grill that's just being renamed, right? Or has there been physical modifications?
There's been some design change. There's been some design changes to reduce its. Well, let's just say its costs have been cut and its weight has been dropped a bit in some area. Largely just in the legs and the way it kind of sits together.
Well, that was going to be the topic of conversation with Kevin because I had seen a new name getting thrown around, and I was like, wow, that looks a lot like the Weber Summit. And so I had text Kevin and said, hey, you want to come on? Is it now? He had hinted that it was merely like a name change and that there wasn't anything physical that was happening to that. Maybe he would have clarified that a little bit, and we'll look to have him on after the turn of the year here, and everything gets healthyized in his family, and so we hopefully that happens quickly, sooner than later. But what seems odd to me in that regard is I remember having Kevin on talking about this particular unit and how everybody was leveling it as being some kind of a competitor to a Kamado style cooker or the Kamado killer or whatever. And he said, no, that's exactly not what we're going to do. Blah, blah, blah. It's a different thing altogether. And it's more Weber than anything ceramic or Kamado based. And now fast forward here to the end of the year and they're going to put the name Kamado in it. Is that more just for marketing?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, when they first came out, it was very much, this is not a Kamado grill. Like there was a negative connotation they were trying to avoid, or just didn't want that comparison made. And now I
understand that. I don't have any problem with that. If that's the avenue you want to take, that's fine. But then it would seem weird when you diverge right into the name Kamado at that point.
Yeah, and I don't know exactly where that came through. Maybe they felt that the marketing on it wasn't very strong. There has been some personnel change on that side of the Weber team. So there has been kind of a change up in some management positions. So I don't know if, where they're trying to go with that, but it does seem like they want to kind of reintroduce and kind of pursue it more in that name, in that idea that this is the great Kamado killer, which I still think people are going to, by and large, go, no, it's very different.
What else in 2020 caught your eye from a trend standpoint? And it can be food, too. I mean, you're a established cook as well.
Well, I think, just the year itself kind of changed the way we eat and the way we cook. And there's been a lot of people kind of exploring, a lot of people getting into outdoor cooking that hadn't really been there before. So, I think there's kind of a growth in the market space. I think there's a lot more interest going on, but also kind of a lot of a back to basics sort of mentality. A lot of people have really been pushing, to kind of take it back to their childhood or go back to the things that they used to really like. People always talk about, 2020 and all the sourdough thing, but really what that was kind of people getting into the craft of cooking a little bit more. And, so I think from that standpoint, that's kind of really the big takeaway for the year is that people want to just get back to the things that they're familiar to and kind of explore that more. So, grill sales appear to be good for most companies. I think there's a few that had some hiccups during the year, but I think it's been a strong year, and I think that there's going to be a push to try and kind of nail all that down as we go forward.
Do you think, from a consumer's standpoint, that the trend of cooking at home will continue? I mean, obviously, we're hoping that there's some return to normalcy. I mean, that's a moving goalpost as well at this point. But, a vaccine is out. Who knows how that rolls out? Who knows how that takes or who's going to take, blah, 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 blah. So within that time, do you foresee a trend of staying and cooking at home? Is this something that manufacturers and other accessory makers can count on, some sales at least for the first 6 months that maybe they wouldn't under normal conditions?
I don't know how the sales are going to really run out, because it's a question of, how big can the market space get? A lot of people have bought, so they have, their owners now. Maybe the accessory market will work out really well. We do kind of have to anticipate that there's going to be a good block of months in 21 that these things aren't really going to change. And, you at that standpoint of kind of like, well, this is a new normal for more than a year. It changes habits. So the way people shop and whether or not they go out to restaurants, and are they going to be more, hey, I'm going to cook at home, or, those sort of aspects. I think that there is going to be a little bit more change in that direction. I'm just going to kind of have to wait and see if, these habits stick going forward.
What do you think in 2021, aside from what we just talked about? Are there any trends that you're predicting or that you're seeing on the come here in 2021, regardless of the health situation that we're in?
Well, I mean, I've had a few conversations with some people, in some media spaces, and what they're really looking at, as far as next year, because print right now is print magazines and books. They're already working on next summer. For them, it's a lot of more historical, a lot more authentic, a lot more skill-based cooking. So the stuff that they're kind of really looking at, it's like, pellet grills and smokers are a really big thing, but we've talked that up as far as we're going to talk it. So going forward, I think that a lot, at least the media coverage, is going to be more based in kind of a more old school type of cooking. I mean, if you want to kind of stay on top of where the media is going to be, that's kind of the side it's going to be on. Particularly kind of a more diversified historical cooking, kind of a broader perspective in ethnic foods and, global food. So, I mean, that's just kind of the conversations that I've been kind of picking up on and seeing what people have been, looking for, for 21.
Do you think picanha is going to be a big hit? Like it made a splash maybe a year and a half ago, and then maybe it fizzled out, but I'm seeing it back on the come. Is that going to be a quarter, the first quarter popular thing?
I think that's just one of those things that kind of rolls through every once in a while. It pops up for a couple of months and then it fades back out again.
Meet the new picanha, same as the old picanha?
Yeah, basically. I mean, anytime someone comes back and says, this cut of meat or this recipe, this is the thing. It's like, yeah, people try it once or twice, but they're done. Unless it is just earth-shatteringly different, it's not going to stick around. So, those are just fads that pop up. And
did you get into the bacon Oreo fad?
No.
No? All right. Fine. I think we're the only two that didn't. I think I almost missed it, except one of my embedded correspondents brought it up as maybe a joke, saying something about bacon and Oreos. And I was like, what are you talking about? And then he filled me in, and I was like, wow, that's gross. But evidently it was.
This is one of the reasons I stay off social media as much as I can.
It was a thing, man. It was a thing.
Yeah, okay, it's a thing. Yeah, that's
yeah, you're the journalist. You got to cover that. You got to have your finger on the pulse and see what's happening, right?
Yeah. I try to look at longer term trends.
Yes. All right. What do you think is going to be the most popular cooker next year? Is it still going to be pellet cookers taking over the industry? Will we see some type of resurgence in charcoal? I mean, charcoal has always been a popular cooker, but will this be a year of a new charcoal cooker? What do you think?
I'm not seeing anything, in the pipeline product wise that jumps out and says that there's any innovation. There's a lot of replication going on. We do have some interesting legal situations with some pellet cookers because, Traeger is making a claim that they have a patent on connectivity.
Like Wi-Fi?
Wi-Fi, Bluetooth.
Is that thing still going on?
And they just got a patent. They got 3 patent judges to rule 2 months ago that, it seems to be entirely valid.
That they invented Wi-Fi on cookers?
The argument isn't that they invented it. The argument is that they are the ones who currently possess the paperwork.
Yeah, but Green Mountain Grills had Wi-Fi connectivity before Traeger even came out with it.
Oh, yeah. No, several people actually had that sort of stuff.
But because Traeger files paperwork, then that's the letter of the law?
They're very aggressively pursuing this into the courts.
So will they sue? Are they suing Green Mountain Grills?
Yeah, they are.
Really?
Again.
Wow.
I know. Yeah, it's but the thing of it is that if they can get that win, that's the problem. And I don't know that they can, because honestly, when I look at it, it's like, this doesn't make a lot of sense. But if they were to get that win, it's not Green Mountain Grills that are the ones that are necessarily going to be trying to land on. It's going to be the bigger, deeper pockets. And that's going to be for licensing. We own the patent, Weber. You can't do that.
Yeah.
So pay us a portion
now
of every unit.
Right. Like Traeger used to do with Fast Eddie cookers back in the day, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I don't know. It's business-wise, it's going to be kind of a weird year, because I am making the prediction that Weber sells next year. So
sells to who, like to an investment company or somebody?
I don't know.
Oh.
At this point, I'm not entirely certain. I mean, the private equity firm that has had it way too long.
Yeah.
And they want to divest. I mean, they just bought Whataburger. So they've been making a lot of press move in Asia to get their name recognition strong there, so that might be the area they're headed towards. I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes.
Well, there's a bold prediction here in 2021 from Derrick Riches, so we'll see how that turns out. Plus, I'm anxious to watch some of these litigation movements as we go into the new year as well. The good news is this. You can read Derrick over at DerrickRiches.com each and every day if your heart desires. And if you don't desire to do that, you can come right here on the 4th Tuesday of every month and listen to Derrick talk about the latest happenings in the live fire industry. Derrick, I wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and we will see you in 2021.
Yeah, see you then. Happy holidays to you and your family.
All right, there he is, Derrick Riches right there. And like on the way out, just dropping that nugget of, hey, there's going to be some suing going on and legality, man. I'm telling you, no one is safe. We are all at risk. I forgot to ask him about the vaccine. Damn it. Derrick, are you going to take the vaccine? Everybody on Instant Chat, are you taking the vaccine when it rolls in? Southside Market Barbecue is the oldest barbecue joint in Texas. They've been owned and operated since 1882 for 3 generations. Original beef sausage is the claim to fame. Coarse ground and a natural pork casing. They also do Central authentic Texas barbecue meats as well. All meats, including the prime briskets, are smoked low and slow for many hours over real Texas post oak wood. They're shipping nationwide through the online store, SouthsideMarket.com. If you're a shipping customer, you can choose to order now and ship later, include a custom gift note, mail to multiple addresses without additional charges. Hopefully you did that for this holiday season. I've only been talking about it all year. All shipped items are vacuum sealed to ensure freshness and ease of preparation for your end user customer. Meats are processed in the on-site USDA inspected facility. 3 restaurants to choose from. Elgin, Texas since 1882. Bastrop since 2014, and they also have a location in Austin. Grocery distribution through Texas and many surrounding states. 10% off coupon code online at SouthsideMarket.com and use promo code BBQ Central. That's BBQCENTRAL. BBQCENTRAL. Promo code BBQ Central for 10% off your entire order at SouthsideMarket.com. All right, we're back to wrap the first hour, and then we'll get into the second. Stick around. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the #1 most downloaded barbecue and grilling podcast anywhere. The BBQ Central Show. Continuing to produce incredibly mediocre content in an exceptionally professional way. You're listening and watching the BBQ Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
Hey, welcome back. And this segment brought to you by Fireboard 2 and Fireboard 2 Drive and Fireboard 2 Pro. Monitor up to 6 different temperatures simultaneously or simultaneously. Connect to Wi-Fi for cloud-based monitoring so you can go anywhere. Or connect via the red, white, and blue hoo-hoo tooths for shorter distances. If you have Alexa and the Google's assistants, you're in luck because Fireboard is fully integrated with both. You can say, hey Google, tell me the temperature on probe 1. Your brisket's at 175. It's in the stall, stupid. I don't know if either of them sound like that. I have neither of them. Find out more by visiting fireboard.com or call 816-945-2232. Doug, you had asked, and I didn't roll over, but Derrick's answer to your "What are you sipping?" is Four Roses. I don't know why John's picture is up on Derrick's thing. That's weird. Nevertheless, Four Roses is the answer, Doug. Derrick, are you taking the vaccine? And is there a full reset? Is that what Robin called it? Full reset? I got a ton of email on Robin last week. It was great. All right, thanks again to Derrick Riches for joining me last segment, talking about what was happening this year and what he looks forward to in 2021, some litigation, and a prediction. Somebody write this down so we can keep track of it. Derrick predicts that Weber will sell in 2021 to somebody, some PE, maybe in the Asian market. We'll see. Let's go ahead and wrap the first. We are headed to the second hour, so stick around. We'll be right back.